What's going on, CALIVEGANs, and welcome into another episode of the CALIVEGAN podcast, where we talk all things calisthenics, veganism, and specifically helping vegan men becoming that good example for veganism and show that the weak vegan stereotype is just a myth. Today we're going to focus on training, what are some of the things that I've been seeing online that I think needs to be addressed, and what I'm doing in my own training in order to make progress with calisthenics and build muscles. But first set. This is going to be more of a warm-up set because as you've seen last week, I'm trying to understand what's the right exercise to make progress now, which I think is just going to be planche hold with assistance. But I'm going to use a hard band first, see how it feels, and then moving to a lighter assistance. This is very slippery today, I don't know why. Usually it's not this slippery. Anyway, let's see. Alright, so I believe that was a perfect hold. 10 seconds. I could have easily pushed it to 15 seconds, so it's a good idea to drop the assistance, I think. But first, let's do some controversial from the beginning. And are vegans better than non-vegans? And yes, we are. Not in a sense that if you're not a vegan, you're a bad person, but the world is full of non-vegans, and the vegans weren't vegans before. But here's the thing: if you have understood veganism, if you have seen what happens to animals in animal agriculture, you've seen all of these horrible practices, and from there you decide to find the ways to abuse animals better, to excuse yourself in different ways in order to continue paying for this abuse. You're definitely not better than a vegan that decides, my habits, my culture, taste is not as important as an animal life. Because, I think the direction in which the humanity is going and has been going it's a lot about progress, but in a, let's say, materialistic way. Maybe it's not the right word, but like better cars, better rockets, better buildings, better way of training, better approaches to nutrition when it comes to science. But what we really need in the world is helping who is weaker, who is struggling for ABC. This is what would really make the world a better place, I think. Focusing on being more compassionate and reduce suffering in the world. So I think that, being a hard worker or creating a space shuttle doesn't really make humanity better. What makes humanity better is doing some sacrifices to help who's in need. And animals definitely are in need, and I think that if you ignore what happens to animals, it just shows you that you are a selfish person. Because it's easy, for example, to say that you are against animal cruelty and not do nothing about it. That doesn't make you against animal cruelty. And same thing, it's easy to say that you're against slavery today, but what about when there was a fight against slavery? Would you support slave owners, or would you'd be fighting for change? And this is the same for veganism. Today we're trying to give animals rights, not to be abused, and the people that are not going vegan are not doing good for that progress of reducing suffering of animals. So you tell me if vegans are better or not. Okay, we'll make this a valid set. Right? I'm gonna try and do 10 seconds again. If I can do 10 seconds, which I don't think so, I'll drop this again. So I'll drop the assistance. That's what I meant. No, it's not happening. We got 5 seconds. I think that was pretty clean and controlled. So I'll keep it like that and try to do 3 sets. Planche. Is it 5 seconds? 5 seconds is not very good. But yeah, I talked about this in another podcast. Comes to statics, and this is what's happening in my planche progress. I was making progress with the planche push-ups, but I wasn't holding much. I wasn't doing that a lot. I was doing it a little bit at the end of my sets to hold the position in the end. I wasn't doing it, very well neither, actually. It felt very hard. And so if the goal, so you're still doing well, right? So I'm still making progress with the planche push-ups. I'm still developing that pushing strength for planche. But if the end goal is going to be, planche hold, obviously if you don't do straight arm strength exercises, you might end up not feeling strong in the planche hold, and this is what happened to me. So that's why I decided to move back to focus on planche hold. And I would love to do something like pressing. Only pressing is really the best exercise. Maybe negative presses, but I don't really like to do the negative. I prefer the hold. Well, it's just too hard for me. Doing the presses, even in the tuck position, is too hard. So this is what I always say to people: if you want to make progress with calisthenics, you got to understand that there are things you can do, and there are other things that you can't do. And you cannot just look at genetically gifted athletes that can really do crazy things in calisthenics, dominating their body and moving it against gravity, doing one arm planche, stuff like that. You don't necessarily, you will not necessarily get to that level. Everyone is going to have a different calisthenics journey. And it's very important for you, in order not to get stuck in your progress and also reduce the risk of injury, that you get humbled and you don't just try to do things just because you think it's possible because others do it, because it might not be the right things for you right now, and also it might be also completely unrealistic for you as a goal. Let me close the window because they are cutting the grass. You know, so for me, for example, you know, like for what's important is that there is progress over time, right? In your training. For me, that's the most important thing. And in my training, I see progress over time in everything. It's a little bit slower in my push workouts, but you know, I am indeed progressing. But once you set first, let's not waste time always. All right, so 5 seconds. I feel like if I do more than that, I'm going to just break the form. So yeah, progress is the most important thing inside of your training. And once you have a training plan that gets you consistent results and you're making progress, you will start noticing what's your rate of progress. For me, you know, I don't see myself being able to do, I don't know, planche presses and multiple planche push-ups with a full planche hold at the end. I just don't see it happening. Just don't think. I mean, it must be my genetic. On the other side, there are other exercises, like I see myself being able to do one arm pull up in the future. What are other things? I see myself being able, well, I can already do it, like multiple front lever pull-ups. But when it comes to planche, I mean, I would probably make faster progress if I would do more planche work. I should be more specific, because here's the thing, important. Some people make the mistake of thinking, all right, so before I said some people made the mistake of thinking that they can do, you know, all of these crazy calisthenics move, but it's not for everyone. Another people think that they can work towards different skills all at the same time. You know, you maybe want the one arm pull up, the muscle up, the back lever, the front lever pull ups, and the planche, and all this stuff. You can't. Especially when we are talking about same muscle group, you know, like pushing and pulling. You need to focus on one or two main skills, right? Then you can do other exercises within your workout that focus on a different exercise, but it's not going to be your main focus. You're going to be supporting your overall strength progress. For example, if I'm doing as my first exercise muscle ups because I'm working on getting stronger with my muscle up, if my second exercise is going to be front lever, I'm going to be working on an easy variation that allows me to do more volume, because it doesn't make sense to go hard on front lever when I already worked my pulling strength as the first exercise, and therefore you're not going to make that huge progress specific to the front lever. You will make progress, but it's not specific. So the focus always needs to be one or two skills that you want to achieve and you want to make this strength progress towards to. But for example, in my case, if I wanted to speed up my planche progress, or at least try to speed up, I should be having a planche exercise as first exercise in my push workout, so today, and also in my upper body workout on Friday, which is push-pull together. But I don't like doing that. I prefer to slow my planche progress down and have two focuses, which is planche for pushing and dips, weighted dips for pushing, so I can progress in strength and not just progressing specifically for planche. So, but again, I don't think it's going to be, even though I would do that, I don't think there would be a massive change in my speed of progress. So 5 seconds. I want to add some volume, so I think I'm going to just another set with the hard band. Hard band. Let's do it. Here's a little trick that some people make a mistake when they use band at home to perform the pull-ups. It's like your pull-up bar at home, like the doorway pull-up bar, usually, you know, always actually, I would say, is pretty low, right? It's not like a tall pull-up bar where you can extend your legs completely, and therefore you're going to have to put your knee inside of the band. What that does is that the band is assisting you less. So in order to make the band assisting you properly, you have to do a double loop on the band if you're putting your knee inside of the band, because otherwise you do your pull-up, you get here, and the band stops assisting you because it's not pulling. So you need to make the band shorter, and you will see there's going to be a better feeling in the way the band is assisting you for your pull-ups. When it comes to planche, it's not like 100% necessary, because there will still be help, less help, but still help. But you know, it's just I'm just used to do double loop when I have a lower bar, so just keep it like that. And I'm injured, guys. I'm injured. So last week, I think, yeah, it was just last week during this workout, you know, I think the last push-up exercise where I was trying to do high volume really got my tendons to touch inside of the joints and got inflamed, something called impingement. I've been struggling with it in the past as well. And something that I've noticed, now I can't really show you everything, but anyway, as you can see, I'm still training, because what I've noticed in my experience is that usually those training and overuse injuries, they always come from some mobility problem. Maybe it's stretching, maybe some restriction because the muscle is tight and need massage. So instead of stop training, I don't do it anymore. I just really focus on doing everything possible to improve the mobility and reduce the inflammation and the restriction inside of the area where the injury is. And I really spend most of my time on that during my warm-up, you know, and usually, you know, the pain improves, and during my workout is either I don't feel it or it's manageable. Maybe it's a little bit more painful after the workout, but as long as I see the improvement, I always push through the pain a little bit. Okay, if it gets worse, then you're going to have to take a break. All right, so what are we doing here? 10 seconds, like in the beginning. I think that was 10. All right. Now handstand push-ups. Actually, I can show you what I mean, because basically there was this problem. I had it from when I was living in London as well, and I struggled with shoulder pain multiple times actually. But I noticed that the problem was coming from a lack of mobility in my shoulder, like internal rotation. And I was doing this exercise that I'm going to show you quickly now, where you basically put your wrist behind here on your lower back, and then you place your scapular, making sure that you're squeezing and your chest is up on the floor like this, and then pushing your wrist toward the floor. Okay, so this way we're working both internal rotation. And I noticed that after years of physiotherapist and no improvement happened, I noticed that working on the internal rotation, and also actually I worked in external rotation as well, was the thing that improved my pain, shoulder pain the most. But now that the pain is back, I've noticed that this exercise for internal rotation is not really helping me improving, for some reason, the internal rotation in this position. Okay, so I still cannot really touch the floor with my finger. If I stay here a minute, I will be able to, but that's what I've been focusing on in order to improve this problem. Internal rotation of the shoulder stretch in this position, as well as a stretching for external rotation. And then one of the best exercises you can do for your shoulder is just hanging from the bar. So let me get these bad boys. So last week I told you guys that I wanted to stop using the wardrobe as a safe spot, because it seemed like I was kind of feeling too safe, and I was touching it too often and perhaps losing my technique on doing handstand push-ups. 3. Okay. 5 is not bad. What happened last week? 5. Right. Another thing about calisthenics is that when I started, I really saw calisthenics as a sport. Like, I saw all these people doing tricks on the bar, and that's what I wanted to do, like doing all of these tricks and stuff. But I noticed that I wasn't, I was going to the park and I was trying the 360, I was trying the front lever and putting things together. But at some point it started to be very not enjoyable, because I didn't see progress. I didn't see myself looking light on the bar doing tricks like these other guys were able to do. And I don't know, I started to feel a little bit demotivated, because in my mind this is what everyone was doing. But going back to the genetic factor, not everyone is going to be able to achieve that level of body mastering, especially when it comes to doing freestyle and tricks on the bar. Like, it's obviously much easier if you weigh 60 kilograms instead of 80, and that's something that you can confirm when you look at gymnastic. Olympic gymnasts, they're all small. They're all like 50, 60 kilograms. Well, 50 maybe not, but 60. Most of them are like 60, 65 kilograms. And there is a reason for that. The same reason why, the strongmen usually are bigger, because relative strength can be better developed if you're light. Absolute strength can be better developed if you're bigger. This is where the wardrobe was useful. Right, I don't know what's happening. I'm just going to finish the set here. As always, if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you want me to talk about. If you're on Instagram, same thing. Like, comment, share it on your story if you find this valuable and interesting. But also, if you are a vegan man and you want to build muscle, you want to do it through calisthenics, a way of training that is more functional and it's more flexible to different environments because you need less equipment, I can help you with my CALIVEGAN program, which already helped more than 200 vegan men build muscle and become that role model for veganism and break the weak vegan stereotype. Just go to my Instagram and send me a DM saying CALIVEGAN, We'll have a better conversation about your goals, what you're doing right now, your struggles, and how my CALIVEGAN coaching program works, which includes tailored training for your strength level, the best calisthenics exercises, a plant-based nutrition plan based on whole plant food, and creating a structure around a caloric target that's going to make you develop a lean physique with muscle definition and accountability. So you get access to me at all times through chat. I will be doing a weekly check-in as well as some coaching calls. So if that's you, if you're a vegan man who wants to build muscle with calisthenics, just go to my Instagram, stefanovegancalisthenics, and drop me a DM saying CALIVEGAN. There we go. 50 seconds rest. My girlfriend is struggling now with lower back pain. You can't see her, but she's like rolling in bed because of the pain, and it's very annoying to struggle with lower back pain. What you want to do, whatever pain and injury you're going through is really not doing the things that are going to make it worse. You don't want to eliminate them completely from your routine in the long term, but the moment you are struggling with pain and inflammation, lower back pain, you definitely want to avoid those movements. And she didn't avoid them. She did legs three times in a row. No, 3 days in a row, legs. It's not only about legs, it's about some specific exercise. All right, let's see if I can do some handstand push-ups here. Not bad. Fuck. So yeah, I think this is exactly what happened in the last weeks with my handstand push-ups. I've been relying too much on the wardrobe as a way of saving myself from falling, and so now my brain has lost the ability to maintain balance a little bit, but that's okay. When it's like this, for the handstand push-ups, what I focus on is trying to recreate the same amount of volume as last week. Meaning that if I'm not able to do the whole amount of repetitions and set through handstand push-ups because I don't balance well myself and I keep falling, I'm just going to add some wall handstand push-ups as you've seen, or I might add some bent arm press to handstand as well. And conversation about protein, again, I know it's getting boring, but here's the thing: here's the question that no one can really answer me. Like, everyone is so excited about eating more protein to optimize muscle growth, but I feel like the excitement is way higher than the actual benefit that eating a higher protein diet actually gets you. Because I don't see anyone talking about it, you know? Like when I hear those, both in the protein and calories discussion, when I hear those, oh, you know, like if you eat on a deficit, you cannot build muscle. If you eat a maintenance, you're just going to maintain the muscle, because to build muscle, you need to be in a caloric surplus. Okay? And then to build muscle, you need 1.6 gram, 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. 1.2, 1 gram, 0.8 is not going to be enough. Okay, so what are you saying? Are you saying that if I get stronger, you know, I build my way up from 0 to 20 kilograms pull-ups, but I'm not in a caloric surplus and I am not in a high protein diet, I'm not going to build muscle? The real answer is no, but science supports these. Sorry, the real answer is no, I will still be able to build muscle. And the reality is that science says that, like basic science says that. But for some reason, the fitness industry is in love with this concept of eating higher protein target as the only way to build muscle. Right, can I do 5 handstand push-ups, please? Just like I did in my first set. Four. Okay, let's go to the wall directly and add some reps. Right, going back to what I said in the beginning. Staying humble. You know, it's useless to keep trying and jump up on a handstand where my balance is obviously shit. It's better to mix it up. In this case, so I can do a good amount of training volume. Next we have our endurance set with push-ups, which maybe I shouldn't do, considering it was the reason. Nah, my shoulder is fine. My shoulder is good, guys, so we can do it. What I was saying. See. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to say. Thank you if you've been waiting for me to remember what I wanted to say. And drop me a comment. Drop a laughing emoji if you're here. So yeah, here's the thing. I had a conversation with a vegan fitness coach about the protein intake, and you know, he's using as a marketing selling point this protein factor, you know, telling people that they're not building muscle as a vegan because they're doing the diet wrong and they don't get enough protein, which, as you know, guys, for me that's not the case, especially because most of these fitness coaches online, and it's normal by the way, but most of these fitness coaches in general, they talk to beginners, because usually these are the people that look for a coach. Then you have, of course, elite coaches that work with more experienced people. But overall, like, there is a bigger market for beginners. So telling beginners that the reason why they don't build muscle is because of protein, it's a lie. The reason why they haven't built muscle is because they're weak as fuck. They did not a good job in training properly and consistently, and that's why they don't have muscle. It's not because of protein. And in the conversation, and I haven't been confrontational enough, I must say that. I should have been more confronting. This is something that I want to do in my next podcasts and collaboration with other people. So I haven't been confrontational enough, and I asked him this question, which is the point that I usually do, and I've just done. So you think if someone is increasing his squat from, 80 to 120, like, it's now going to be muscle? And he said yes. Like, he said yes. And I was a little bit shocked. And I didn't tell him that I thought it was bullshit, but I should have. By the way, this is Julian here. Julian, if you're listening. That's what I think about what you said. That, yeah, it's nonsense to think that you get stronger and don't build muscle. Or even the other thing that he said is that it's actually true that some vegan lose muscle as they go vegan because they start eating less protein, which is absolute nonsense. It's also a bad thing to say for the whole vegan movement. So it's 15 with 10, 10 normal push-ups, 10 knee push-ups. Should we keep it the same? Do we try to do a little bit more? Let's do 15, 11, 11. So yeah, absolute nonsense, because he's like, I don't know if he really believes it. I don't think so, that he really believes it. And if he does, it's just wrong. But he is really touching on the fear of some people and digging them a hole to validate their fear, because something that happens to many vegans is that they might lose weight. It happened to me. When you start eating a lot healthier, more. My girlfriend is basically getting naked on the side.
Shut up.
She's going to enjoy her putting on her panties. So yeah, I forgot to put the rest time. But yeah, it's using that fear and connecting it to something that a lot of vegans experience, which is losing weight when they go vegan because they start to eat healthier, right? As a default, most vegans, unless you live in a big city perhaps where you have more accessibility to vegan junk food, but usually, when you go vegan, as a result, so less vegan options, you go to whole plant food, fruits and vegetables, which are higher in fibers and lower in calories, and therefore people start losing weight automatically. But the weight loss is not muscle loss. It is fat that's going away. Now, being in an uncontrolled caloric deficit is not good. Like if it's too big, you can actually have problem with energy levels and having headaches and brain fog. So it's not good necessarily. I'm not saying it's good, but this is not what's happening. Like the vegans that lose weight when they go vegan, it's mainly because they're not eating enough calories. They're losing fat, perhaps their arms, and they start looking skinnier, but it's not because they have lost muscle, it's because they never had muscle. And these people, these vegans, they are probably weak. They're probably weak, they don't train, and that's why they don't have muscle. It's not because they don't eat enough protein. So it was 15, 11, 11. Fuck! Four. There is one guy on YouTube that does a set of 1,000 push-ups. How crazy is that? And that was only 4. So it's 10 kilograms push-ups plus push-ups plus knee push-ups. By the way, I think that my progress in push strength has been a little slow because I am probably not pushing to do more volume in my handstand push-ups. I am going a little bit too much with the flow in the terms of really focusing on getting those free handstand push-ups and limiting myself to what I can do. And from now on, I'm going to focus a bit more on creating more volume, whether it is free handstand push-ups or ending or finishing the set on the wall, because I find it actually a bit weird now that I am doing only 5 repetitions of handstand push-ups. I feel like I moved backward a little bit, and I think this might be the reason. I also feel that I might have moved back a little bit on my planche training as well, and it's probably for this reason as well. And so this is something that I tell my clients all the time. You need to commit to progress. You need to commit to progressively overload and doing more and more volume, because progress doesn't just happen randomly. And this is what I'm letting it happening right now to my workout, because it's long time that I'm stuck at this range of repetitions, and sometimes moving backwards. So I'm gonna stop doing that and making sure that I increase volume. Oh, it says lunch break. Anyway, this is the last set. Give it a little rest, just to write down the 15. Here we go, 11. I think I didn't break before. Let's see if I can do the same this time. And 11. And 11. All right. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.